Today on Locked On Rockies, the Colorado Rockies have been a frustrating team at points this season, but games like the finale against Washington prove how far this team has to go as they waste a bunch of walks.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 28th day of August in the year 2026. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's what we do around here. Free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about another frustrating finale here as the Rockies can't get anything going on offense, despite the fact that they got a bunch of walks. But strikeouts as the Rockies offense is in a very, very frustrating place, despite the big win in Game 3 of the series. We'll also look ahead to a tough series coming up in Atlanta on the way for the Rockies here. But one of my main takeaways from this game is it just still goes to show that as good as this offense has been this year, there's still another step, there's still another level, and there's still a complete lack of clutch that this team is missing here. We'll dive into all that and more on today's episode. Want to thank you again for making us your first listen of the day. I am Paul Holden, your Rockies fan extraordinaire, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, like I have been for over 6 seasons now. That's hundreds of episodes of the Locked On Rockies podcast, going through the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between when it comes to Rockies baseball. And man, these are the games, these are the moments here where it just gets extra frustrating. It's a series split, it's a loss, whatever, but the losses in this series for the Rockies, I think are just really that reminder, that slap in the face, that reality check that the Rockies have received a few times here. And obviously this was a series coming off the losing streak. The Rockies were in a bad way going into this, getting the split, snapping the losing streak, all good things. But it is unacceptable, the lack of production the Rockies offense got in this game. This type of just brutal missed chances, and for it to be multiple bases loaded opportunities, for the Rockies to draw in this game 9 total walks, including a hit by pitch in this one. 9 walks, but you only score 1 run with 5 hits. That's brutal. That's awful. That's bad. That is something that is the clear warning sign, red flag of an underlying huge issue with this offense. Yes, they've scored runs. Yes, they've been successful. Yes, they have numbers and things that make them a top 10 statistic offense in baseball. But the Rockies' issues with runners in scoring position over the past couple of weeks, that's flat out unacceptable. These are pro hitters. This is the big leagues. You guys are major leaguers. And when a team gives you 9 free passes, 9 walks, you got to cash in. You gotta manufacture the runs when a team is handing you that many chances. These are the games that drive me absolutely nuts as a Rockies fan. These are the types of games, and these are the types of series here where the Rockies completely dropped the ball in crucial situations. The first game, they end up getting blown out because they can't handle a team that was struggling mightily on offense, and they give them a bunch of chances. And when the Rockies gave the Nationals chances, the Nationals capitalized. The Nationals punish. When the Rockies make mistakes, other teams punish them. That's why the Rockies lose so much. Time and time again, the broadcast even says that the Rockies have to play a perfect version of baseball. But when they go up against an opposition that's clearly not in the on the right page. Yes, 70% of the batters had a strike or whatever the stat was. But when you get that many free opportunities with an offense that has as many weapons as the Rockies have, you have to execute. I'm not hanging that. Yes, Gabriel Hughes, it was far from perfect, certainly, with allowing the 4 runs. He also had 4 walks in this game. But these guys, I mean, for it to be, again, you keep putting Cole Carrick in the 2-hole. He keeps striking out multiple times in crucial situations. You got Connor Norby somehow unable with his hitting streak to back up TJ Rumfield, who got 4 walks in this game. The amount of when you get that many opportunities, it has to convert. And this should have been a not only a win, but a multi-run win. This should have been a comfortable game for the Rockies. They should have made this game out of line early on in this one, especially considering the fact that the Rockies needed to bounce back from being down 2-0 early. And you can't manufacture something because you have 9 with 9 walks. That's flat out unacceptable, especially late. Troy Johnston getting picked off when Hunter Goodman's coming up later in the game. Just these little small, like, it is the small things. The Rockies continuously do not do the small things. We've talked about this time and time again, whether it's the errors, whether it be the fact that the pitchers can't find the location. But this game, yes, the Nationals end up hanging up to 7, and Jimmy Herget, woof. But this game, I am frustrated because this was a game that the offense needed to step up. This was a game that the offense needed to be the ones in charge and back up their rookie pitcher on the mound. Back him up and provide him with some run support, because the Nationals were giving you all of these chances, including multiple bases loaded opportunities here. Stranding 13 runners, bases loaded in the 1st, 3rd, and in the 5th. And you can't capitalize on that. These are the type, like, again, the blowouts, the big losses, the ugly ones, they stink. But it's these ones where it's just lack of execution, where, it's a walk, and then it's 3 strikes, you're out. 10 strikeouts, man. I am so unbelievably tired of watching the Rockies get just blown away at the dish. Another 10 strikeout game for the Rockies, because despite the fact that they're drawing all this walks, despite the fact that the pitchers are having issues with control, despite the fact that the pitchers are having issues finding the zone, the Rockies are still striking out like crazy. 10 strikeouts a game in this entire series against the Nationals, against a team that has been sputtering of late, against a team, and especially in the finale here. You're talking about a guy here that the Rockies went up against here in Irvin in this series. We previewed this. Going into the games before this, he had allowed at least 4 earned runs in his games, multiple walks, multiple home runs allowed in these whole things, multiple hits. But then it's the Rockies, as usual. There's the get right game. When you play, if you're struggling, if you're scuffling, just get you a matchup against the Rockies, whether it's an individual performance or a team performance, and you'll be able to bounce back. Just totally totally wasted. This is where it's just like, come on, guys. There is no easy little thing. There is no silver lining. There's no progress here. There's no, these games right here continue to underscore and highlight the true issues at the center of the problems for the Rockies. This team is not clutch at hitting consistently enough. This team has a strikeout problem. This team has a run generation problem, especially against these good teams. Nationals with not obviously falling into that quote unquote good team category. But man, did the Nationals have no problem with the Rockies this year. When you look at it, Nationals get the win here in the regular season series. Yes, it was 4-3, and the Rockies could have been on the other side of this. But it was a 6-run victory for the Nationals in one of them, a 10-run victory, an 8-run victory, and a 4-run victory. The Nationals handled business against the Rockies. The Nationals handled their opportunities. The Nationals went 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position. They could have made it a whole lot worse against the Rockies. But it just, plain and simple, just goes to show you that despite the fact that there are good moments, despite the fact that this is a better offense than they showed in this, they still have a consistency and a clutch problem. And, of course, they have a strikeout problem. Golly, for it to be, bases loaded. Runners in scoring position with one out, strikeout, fly out. Just can't have that. A total failure from the Rockies offense in this finale. Once again, series finale, series win on the line, 3 straight road series wins on the line, and the Rockies just let out a wet fart instead. I get it. I know the numbers and things you'll be able to point to. There's counterpoints here, but flat out unacceptable to walk 9 times and then to strike out 10 times and only bring in 1 run with 3 bases loaded opportunities, and the fact that you have multiple chances to get guys in. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position as the Rockies continue to be awful with runners in scoring position over the past couple of weeks. This is the annoying stuff. Again, like we talked about with the other loss in the first one, these types of losses, these types of missed opportunities, this is the stuff that's going to make this the chase to 100 losses or the chase to avoid 100 losses go down to the wire. Because this was a game you didn't have any business losing. Sorry. I mean, even with the weak performances from the pitching staff, and let's dive into that next, especially because Jimmy Herget, there has been a complete regression from him, and that is a real big bummer for the Rockies here as we go through the end of the season. But man, this type of game, I just can't get over it alone. It just completely frustrates me here for a total wasted chance at putting together a 3-game winning streak to head into the weekend here against an opponent that I don't have a lot of confidence in the Rockies facing here in Atlanta. Talk about the pitching staff. Let's talk about the weekend series coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Support for today's episode comes from Indeed Sponsored Jobs. When workplace chaos hits and you need the right hire, Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps connect employers with candidates who match specific needs like skills, certifications, and location. So less time gets spent searching and more time gets spent finding the right fit. People are finding quality hires on Indeed right now. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. You need to make sure that you have the right person, the right leader in charge, especially as you're looking to navigate the complexities of an ever-changing world. The biggest difference isn't someone doing more work. It's having somebody who knows exactly what needs to happen and helps everything run smoother. Spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Segment number 2, Locked On Rockies here, back with you all on a Friday as we're gearing up for the weekend here. The Rockies taking on the Atlanta Braves this weekend, and hopefully I wish I could say I was feeling very confident about this one, but with the Rockies in the position they're in, with the Rockies playing the way that they have been, especially against the higher level talent, I don't feel super confident, but we'll preview that more here in just a little bit. But my ranting and raving about the offense there and the frustrations in the first segment. Obviously, the offense has the capabilities to turn it around and have shown us that that's the case here this season. But the pitching staff on the other side, it's just a little bit. It's still par for the course, and it's still some of the same issues and things that we've been facing. But there's one there that we can't ignore, that Jimmy Herget is just continuing to go down a really, really tough path right now. Jimmy Herget has not been good for the Rockies for quite some time. Last 30 games for Jimmy Herget, so last 27 2/3 innings, over 30 games in that time. He's got a 7.81 ERA. He's allowed 32 hits in that time, 24 hits, 20 walks, and 23 strikeouts with a whip of 1.88. Zooming in a little bit closer, last 15 games, 9.64 ERA in the last 14 innings worth of work, 15 earned runs. So that means in the last 15 innings, a bullpen guy that supposed to be coming in close and crucial situations is allowing at least a run per inning right now with 12 walks, almost a walk per inning as well, with a whip at 1.93 and not nearly striking out close to the amount of batters that he needs to. This is a huge warning sign, and it has certainly ballooned up here now to the fact that he's looking at a career high ERA right now if he doesn't turn things around. And the interesting thing is he's 40 innings less than he pitched last year at this stage with that 2.48 ERA here that he finished last season with. This needs, I mean, the veteran arms, the veteran pitchers for the Colorado Rockies, man. The rookies, the young guys, that's a one thing, but man, this is just another example of the wheels falling off for a veteran pitcher, for someone that the Rockies were looking and hoping to rely on, especially with what we're talking about with Herget's strong first half of the season here. But man, oh man, most of the veteran arms for the Rockies have just ended up disintegrating here. And on top of that, the thing that continues to be hammered home, the differences between any other pitching staff in baseball, it feels like, and then the Rockies is they'll still get their strikeouts, and that's obviously a product of the swing happy, aggressive, and the flaws of the Colorado Rockies offense. But why were the Nationals able to get out of this jam? Why were the Nationals able to avoid the fact that they walked 9 guys? Because they strike guys out, and the Rockies don't strike guys out. It is just continues to be one of the most infuriating parts about watching the Rockies as well when it comes to the comparing pitching staffs is, man, it sure is helpful when you can get a strikeout in a crucial situation. Man, it's sure helpful when you can get the swing and miss. Man, it's sure helpful when you can punish the batters for their aggression. But the Rockies can't do that. The Rockies don't have enough strikeout guys. The Rockies don't have enough guys that just make you look silly. The Rockies don't have enough guys that keep hitters off balance and uncomfortable. And it's killing them. It's hurting them. There are crucial areas in this version of baseball, especially when it comes to you got to be able to strike guys out and you can't give free passes. And that is a huge, huge issue for the Rockies, and highlighted by Jimmy Herget here. Jimmy Herget gives up 3 earned runs in an inning's worth of work. 3 hits allowed in that time, including a home run. That just can't happen. I mean, a game that a 3-run game turns into a 7-run game, and or in a 6-run game, and the Rockies aren't going to have a chance in the 9th. If you keep it limited, then you have some whiff of a chance here. But this is just, again, another incredibly disappointing performance by the Colorado Rockies in a series finale. I don't know what it is about this team when it gets to the end of a series, when it gets to the end of the thing here, but this team in finales, they just drop the basics. They win a hard-fought game in game 2. You blow them out in game 3. You have the momentum. You have things rolling. You have things moving. You're playing a team that has been scuffling, and you put in these the 2 losses in these series, just brutal losses for the Rockies here in this series. Just one of those things where not enjoyable. There's just nothing that boils my blood when watching the Rockies like this than watching the offense whiff, blow a bunch of free chances, and then the pitching staff unable to get the job done, unable to get crucial outs, unable to strike out guys when they need to, and giving up damage and giving up runs. Through 6 innings worth of work between Hughes and Herget in this one, 7 runs allowed, 4 walks given up by Herget, and only 4 strikeouts between the 2 of them, and 2 home runs allowed. Every single pitcher that pitched for the Rockies in this series, or in this one, has an ERA over 5. and obviously there some of those numbers will be different with the lack of innings for some, but that's not the case for some of these other guys. And again, Gabriel Hughes, this is continuing to go through the lumps, continuing to go through the experience. This is the majors. These are big league hitters. This is it. So this experience is going to matter. This experience helps. I don't know how much, what's going through the mind of Gabriel Hughes here, but it's time for you to adjust. It's time for you to sharpen up. It's time for you to go out there, find the zone, eliminate that bad inning. Make sure that the teams can't jump ahead and put your team in a hole when you're on the bump. Plain and simple, Rockies got to play better. They did not play well enough in this series. They did not play well enough in their 2 losses here. And again, and with the schedule remaining, if they want to avoid 100 losses, they have to play much better. They have to be more clutch. They have to do the little things. They have to get back to stealing more bases and being aggressive on the base paths. They have to do more, because these types of losses against this level of competition, just the type of stuff that really makes you roll your eyes and go, same old Rockies. All right, let's take a look at the weekend ahead here for the Rockies against Atlanta. See what's up next here for the club, and get ready for what's next here when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. All that and more on today's episode. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place. Odoo is one platform to manage, grow, and scale your business. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working towards the same goal, and that's true in sports just like it is in business. Think about how important the Rockies losing all the games with Hunter Goodman out of the lineup, and then he's in the lineup, and they win the next 2. You can tell what impacts it makes when you have the right people in the right positions in your organization. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Odoo is one platform to manage, grow, and scale your business. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. Locked On Rockies here, segment number 3. Sorry, I'm in a ranty, frustrated mood here after this one, but it's just not been a great stretch here. I just hate that the Rockies go through these stretches where it's so long, so pronounced, so painful. And it's just the lack of the execution of the little things, and it's just running on the treadmill of the same thing. Can't hit with the runners in scoring position right now. Striking out too much. Pitchers give up hits. Pitchers give up home runs. Pitchers give up walks. Pitchers give up a bunch of runs. Can't get outs. Giving up 2-out damage. Can't get out of innings. It's just the same old stuff. Time and time and time and time again for the Rockies. It's just, I've said it a million times. Where is the adjustment? Where is the adjustment? What changes? What is the coaching staff? What is behind the scenes happening to help these guys? What are we doing to get them prepared and get Cole Carrick's timing back on? What are we going to do to get to cut down on the strikeouts? Oh my goodness, I get it. Aggression, swing happy, aggressive swingers make up the bulk of the Rockies lineup. But how many times are these guys going to be comfortable striking out multiple times, striking out in crucial situations, and not actually being able to put together long, in-depth at-bats like TJ Rumfield has been doing throughout this year? It just really gets to a point where the same old stuff keeps beating the Rockies all the time. And it just feels like here is the playbook to beat the Rockies. Don't let the offense get going, strike them out, throw stuff that's going to keep them off balance, and look at that pitching staff. What are you really going to attack that pitching staff, do the big damage, be aggressive yourself, and make sure and launch and hit and punish these Rockies pitchers that don't have elite put away stuff, that don't have elite swing and miss stuff. It just seems like every other team, it's very simple to beat the Rockies, but for the Rockies to beat other teams, it is far, far from simple here. And they have to work through every single out, it feels like. Not just inning, but just every single out they have to grind and work their way through here. But same old song and dance, nothing new, I think, to any of you Rockies fans out there who've been following and watching the team, especially this season and the most recent seasons as well. Again, this is a crucial point in the season If you don't want to be a historically bad team, you have to be better in these series especially. But hey, what's another 100-loss season in the history of the Rockies? Who cares, right? I digress. Rockies will be taking on the Braves this weekend, and boy, do I not feel good about this one. Braves swept the Rockies earlier this year and had no problem scoring a ton of runs against the Rockies, outscoring the Rockies 28-13 at Coors Field. This was back in May, though. I mean, obviously a different time, but obviously the Braves feeling pretty darn good about themselves right now, as well as they have a series win against the Dodgers, and are going to be coming off a series there where they also just played Milwaukee. So a huge big test for the Atlanta Braves here, and they're doing pretty good in this. It looks like they'll at least be 500 in this stretch against Milwaukee and Los Angeles. Surprisingly, though, got swept by the Twins in Minnesota there, and also lost 2 out of 3 to Arizona. So, but certainly, again, this is a team that has historically been great against the Rockies. This is, of course, the Rockies continuing to play on the road here, and we'll have to see how it all shakes out. But Rockies going with their guy, Tomoyuki Sagano, on the bump here to get things started in this one. With that 4.96 ERA and that 1.32 whip, the home runs are going to be the big thing here. 26 home runs allowed. As always with Tomo, it's got to keep him to the solo shots and really just got to be effective, got to be efficient, and be the Tomo that we've seen during the high points in this season. But we've seen Tomo against some of these high-powered offenses, and hasn't gone well. On the flip side here, Grant Holmes will be getting the start for the Braves here. He's got a 3.64 ERA and a 1.32 whip, same as Tomo here in 23 and 2/3 innings. 109 hits allowed, 100 strikeouts. So obviously, again, something to keep your eye on there. 54 walks, though. Again, 54 walks allowed. So make sure that the Rockies, they will expend. They're going to chase. It's going to be a problem again. But again, there are going to be some opportunities to get some free passes here. And if you get the free passes against a good team, you have to get the clutch hit. And you can't get picked off. Troy Johnston. I cannot believe that is like that one too. You have Hunter Goodman coming to pinch hit at an opportunity to tie the game, and you get picked off. Woof. Sorry. I had to get that last one out. But it ain't going to be easy against the Rockies the whole weekend. This is a Braves team here that is at the top of the National League East and doesn't want to lose any ground. With the Phillies there 4.5 games behind. This is a Braves team that wants to make up for lost time from last year. And this is a Braves team that's 8th in runs scored, 10th in team batting average, and 5th in slugging percentage as a squad. And then on top of that, they got the 5th best team earned run average. They got they're tied for 8th in quality starts, and they got the 6th best batting average against in baseball at 232 here. So it's an upward climb right here for the Rockies against a Braves team that has historically not had any issues with the purple pinstripes. We'll see how it all shakes out. We'll be reacting to it on Monday, of course, after the series wraps up, before the Rockies head to their second to last homestand, I believe, after this Braves series here. Let me make sure I got that right, as we all know me reading the schedule isn't always that great. Yes, Baltimore and St. Louis in Coors Field next week here as well. Before the final homestand of the season, the second to last homestand of the season, before a New York-Detroit road trip here coming up after that. So lots of intrigue for teams playing the Rockies here, as a lot of playoff teams are going to be trying to shore up and make up, either separate themselves or make up some ground here as they play the Colorado Rockies down the final stretch of the season. Folks, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for making Locked On Rockies your first listen of the day. For your second listen, go check out Locked On MLB and all the great stuff we got there. Locked On MLB, Back to the Bullpen, and the Locked On MLB Game Night Show. Plus, we got you covered with Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, all free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on YouTube, of course. Until next time, folks, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.